Hello and welcome to another edition of the Mostly Ballin podcast. I'm Egg. I'm joined by my good friend Ben. Eli is off doing intellectual things. He is the future. The youth are the future. I'm old. Ben's old. So Eli's the
I'm getting
future. So,
there.
so yeah, so you got to put up with me and Ben. Ben, it's been a little while since we last spoke on a podcast. How have you been?
I've been good. It has been a while. It's good to be back. I've missed it. Yeah.
It does feel like there was no news, a lot of news, no news, and now we're just sat around twiddling our thumbs, or you are sat around twiddling your thumbs waiting for the SLB to start.
Yeah. I mean, we recorded a couple of weeks ago, didn't we, when there was a big flood of news, and then it went quiet again, and now the season's around the corner, so it's all gonna pick up again, thankfully, and we'll have some stuff to talk about, so that's good.
Yeah, it sucks to be you and Eli because the NBL already started. Woo!
I've
Yeah,
got,
yes, NBL basketball's back. I have fully checked out of SLB. I haven't actually looked at any of that. And the WSLB as well. I've not had time to look at any of that. So I'm hoping that you're going to keep me up to speed with all those things because there's a lot going on in NBL. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the usual news. I'm going to talk rubbish about the NBL because the KitKing Trophy has started. Some league games have been played. There's some teams play friendlies and things as well, but I'm mainly going to concentrate on the KitKing signings. The league starts in a couple of weeks. I'm going to try and put out a few videos as well on the WNBL because their signings kind of seem to be a bit elongated. So I kind of want to give them some love as well. Ben's going to talk about the SLB, wheelchair basketball. We'll probably go off on some random tangents. We're going to try and keep this as quick as possible. This show, kind of like half hour, 40 minutes. And then once both seasons are kind of up and running, we'll go back to our longer formats of breaking everything down and kind of doing all those sorts of things. Ben, today it was announced that the SLB, and I just want to put a little pause on this. When you say SLB quick enough, it does sound like you're doing a swear word. I don't know
my
why. In
brain.
my mind, when I say it quick enough, I do have to stop and think, wait a minute, is that not, that does sound like I'm like some sort of schoolyard street.
My brain's gonna work too
It
hard.
is.
I can't figure it
Yeah.
out. I trust you.
Super League. Anyway, Ben, today some news came out on the Super League. The Super League is being streamed on DAZN.
Doesn't. Yeah,
That's the sound
correct.
you make. That's the sound you make when you electrocute yourself, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
Wait, can I watch the Super League? Unzen? Yeah. So that's come out today. So could you please enlighten me, Unzen?
Yeah. So that was released this morning. It's probably been as you get electrocuted there.
That's me electrocuting myself.
Um, it's been one of the biggest questions I think of the summer, other than wanting to know what's happening with the league. We all know what's going on now. The next biggest thing was how are we going to watch games? Um, you know, a lot of people were told that maybe only home games could be watched if you attend. Today they announced the league announced that they are partnering with DAZN, how I don't know how you say it.
That's gonna stick as an isn't.
Yeah, a sort of a sports streaming service, which is it's got to be fairly known amongst people. It's pretty popular, and the good news is that it's free to watch, according to news that I read this morning. So I'm coming with you from the news that I've read that is free. It will be covering all games across the men's SLB, um, which is great. You're not going to miss any action on that one. And as far as I'm aware, reading some other sources, the women's SLB will be covered on the YouTube channel. So pretty much the same as last season. Whether things will change going forward, I don't know. But for now, we've got a broadcasting partner. We're gonna get to watch games. The trophy starts in a few days' time, so perfect timing for that, really. And it's brought me some peace of mind. Hopefully, it brings others peace of mind. Yeah, so we're going in the right direction, it seems.
It is a step in the right direction. It's obviously gone from YouTube. From what I've read as well, um, just then, it sounds like on some group chats and stuff, so this hasn't been official, that some of the it won't be centrally produced anymore. It'll be down to the clubs to produce it. So it's kind of like a mix of old and new,
Yeah,
which is good. So I kind of wonder if we're going to see like the old comms teams back for the individual teams and those sorts of things.
definitely.
I'm assuming the zone are just streaming it and that
Yeah, I mean,
it's
I
kind
think
of being used on their servers and stuff.
yeah, it's just sort of that's the platform that will be used for the games. It's going to be a global outreach as well. So like we saw with way things were done last season, the US got to see games. Probably going to be the case for other places as well, which is always good. Creating a bigger picture for basketball in Britain. Um, so no, it is exciting. As we say, we don't know what's going to happen long term, how long it's going to be for, but at least we can get the season underway with a way to watch basketball, and ultimately, that's what matters. At this time,
And
I I
I know you were really excited as well that you could watch your favorite Super League team, the Caledonia Gladiators. So that was good. It's good that you could watch them. If you're a
absolutely
Glads,
buzzing.
You are a Glads fan, isn't it? Glads, that's the team you're a fan of. Go Glads.
I'm glad that basketball is back, but yeah, well, yeah,
And you're in the Super League starts trophy starts this week, next week,
we start on Friday.
Friday.
So at the moment, I've got an article that is in the making. It will be out by Friday before the season starts. Um, Everything starts with the trophy. The first few games on Friday, and we don't see any league action until November. So all the group games will be out of the way come the end of October, and then we focus on the league. Um, with there being 9 teams, it is two groups of 5 and 4, and I can confirm that. Let's have a look. Fixtures. Where's it gone? Cheshire Phoenix, who are the current holders, and I have got to retain the trophy. Get my words mixed up. They will play. They play Manchester, Sheffield, Newcastle, Caledonia. Uh, who have I missed? Who have I missed? That's it, I think. And then you've got Leicester, Surrey, London, Bristol. If that's not 9 teams, I apologize. But as I say, the article's coming out, everything will be there, and it's going to be a good one. There's with it being a 5 and 4, it's not the top four going through. We will go straight to a semi-final, um, sort of knockout, in December, the beginning of December. Obviously, things are due to change if they need to. So nothing's set in stone. But at the moment, things are looking like December, and then the final again at the end of January. But some exciting fixtures. There's been a lot of preseason action amongst the teams. Some of the teams getting to play each other, so it's exciting to see how teams are starting to look, and I'm excited. Yeah,
So I don't know if I'm being dim. I was just trying to get onto the SLB site and it crashed and wouldn't let me on there. I think I'm just being dim. Um, yeah, so as you've gone through all the trophy stuff, I'll just give the fixtures.
yeah,
So 27th is Friday. Nothing's changed. I still don't know what days things are. Caledonia play Manchester.
yeah.
Newcastle face Sheffield. Leicester face Bristol Rockets. I'm going to say Birmingham then. Bristol Flyers even.
Yeah.
Get your leagues correct one. The Caledonia Manchester Newcastle Sheffield game all start at 7:30. Leicester Bristol is 7:45. Then on to Saturday, Surrey face Landan. That is the Surrey 89ers, the artist
Yes,
formerly known as Scorchers. Let's go Niners.
yes.
Let's go. Let's go Niners. Let's go
I'm excited for
against
it.
Landan. That's at 6 p.m. And then on Sunday, we have Manchester face Newcastle. That is Manchester, formerly known as Giants, now known as Manchester. Manchester?
Basketball.
Just
Yeah.
Manchester.
Oh
Just,
yeah, yeah.
just Manchester,
there is
BC.
no.
Just
Yeah,
BC.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
BC. The BC boys. They face the Newcastle Eagles. We've dropped all of the past nicknames
Yeah.
because we're not childish anymore. They face Manchester face Newcastle at 3 p.m. At 4 p.m., the San Antonio Sharks face sick in your mouth. Uh, Knicks. Are you wearing your
Go
old?
Knicks.
Are you wearing that jersey from last year, or are you going to put some decent on this time?
I actually don't have the jersey from last year.
Okay.
Um, so I'll have to get this season's one. Um, I know you're excited to see it.
It can't be any worse than last year's. They set the bar so low.
I don't know. No, I thought last season's was good, and this season's is going to be good as well. Like our season's going to be.
I'm
So
assuming the one that's just scrolling on the website for the Flyers, this red one that Evan Walsh is wearing, is a training one and it isn't their one because it looks like a something that they've got from like Sports Direct. Matt from formerly known as BBL Daily, if you're watching this, please do let me know if this is your jerseys for the season because
Matt has also said that they set the standards for the NBA teams because ultimately the past couple have either looked like the Detroit Pistons jerseys or the Washington Wizards ones, and he said they're not copying from them; they are copying from Bristol. So
so so he's saying
shout out to
he's saying that the Detroit Pistons,
a copy in Bristol.
a team so bad that I don't even know if they should still be in the NBA, are copying the Flyers.
Yes, I've got the messages word for word. And the same, I looked at a picture a few years ago. It was Knicks and Flyers, and it looked like the Washington Wizards one. And he said that the NBA took it from them. So, yeah.
Matt, I love you to bits, mate, but you're a Nets and Bristol fan. Like, I'm not going to take any of your tips on these things. Um, all of those on Games on the Zone. I'm assuming you probably have to sign up for some sort of login and those sorts of things.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a subscription thing, but as far as I'm aware, it's all free to
Yeah.
do.
So
So yeah,
if anything changes between now and then, I'm sure it'll be all over social media. But
we'll keep up to date. Yeah,
enjoy. Have a good one. I'm interested to see what Manchester and Surrey do under their new guys. It'd be good,
yeah,
nice to kind of see them kind of get off with a win. Um, no disrespect to Caledonia, or London Lions fans, but it'd just be nice for those two teams under new
yeah.
names, and they've had a bit of a turbulent summer as well to kind of start with a win. Um,
100%. I got to be honest as well, just jumping in there. I think, and I've said it before, I think this season on a whole is going to be different, have a different feel. So a lot of clubs have have had investment in or had takeovers. Um, so just to see how clubs are going to run and how they're going to move forward, it's going. I think it's the start of something exciting. But specifically for London and Surrey that have had a tough season, it's good to have them back. Yes, it's good to have London back as well. I look forward to competing with them. Um, it's going to be good. Yeah. Shout out to all the teams.
I'm still trying to find the women's website. I think I'm just being thick, so apologies. There won't be any SWB. It won't be any of the women's news from the top flight. There's too many
I
numbers
will
and
find it.
letters.
Yeah.
We'll try and find it. Apologies for
As
being thick.
as far as I'm aware, the WSLB, we'll go with that for now.
Yeah.
They've been on to announcing signings across the league. I've not seen any structure. But maybe I haven't looked hard enough. But I will, I promise. And as you guys know, we cover everything. So I will get the women's information, and get it out.
We'll do some little videos with their signings and kind of compile a preview of each team, as
100%.
I shall do on the NBL teams, men
Yeah.
and women, before their season starts. Although the men's is kind of already started, but we'll get into that. So Ben's going to do some wheelchair news in a minute. I'm just going to talk about the NBL really quickly because I'm so happy the NBL is back. Said before, it's kind of been a really quiet off season for us in NBL. We've kind of just sat and watched everything unfold. Um, Kind of nice that we are back playing hoops in the NBL. One of the, I don't want to say the upside, but one of the positives, and I say that with massive asterisks next to it because there is very few positives that have come out of all this. One of the positives is that the talent in men's D1 has exponentially grown because there's a lot of guys who potentially this time last year would have been picked up onto BBL or top flight teams didn't know what their future was holding, have kind of dropped down into the NBL D1. NBL D1 has obviously got Vince and Russ. Vince is involved at the Cavaliers. There's a fascinating interview with him on the new podcast, and I'm going to get this name wrong. I think it's the Eurostep podcast. I apologize if I've got that wrong.
I believe I've heard that one. Yeah,
Brilliant podcast. I've only listened to the Vince one so far, but there's a few other people I've seen on Twitter and I've spoken about how good it is. It's only 30 minutes long, but it's really concise. He fits so much into it. The Vince one is
yeah,
fascinating. I listened to the Vince one because Vince is a legend. We've had Vince on this show when it was under a previous name, and it was obviously NBL related. He did talk about the fact that the Cavaliers probably are not looking to move up, and that
yeah,
their idea is he's part of the board there. That the idea is to bring young British talent in, develop them, and then if they want to go and play in the States or they can move up into the top flight for another team, so be it. But it doesn't sound like they're looking to move up as things stand. I'm not going to paraphrase him, but he did say, I don't really care what's going on at London or the top flight. We're here to develop young talent to kind of,
yeah,
keep that train going. Don't know what's going on at Nottingham Hoods. Be fascinated to find out what the plan is there and what the plan is within other clubs within D1.
yeah. I mean, I know that it is the goal of the SLB to grow the league over the coming years. I've just had some behind the scene conversations with people. I think what we talked about before with teams wanting to move up now, it isn't going to happen and it shouldn't. But yeah, the NBL is suiting up to be a great league this season, and I'll let you continue with that one. But I wanted to mention that.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
Like I've said before, if teams move up to the Super League from the NBL, I'm not bitter. I want Nothing would please me more than see Nottingham or any team from D1 move up into the top flight and to do really well. But we're just covering our ground there. So I'll be really interested to see what to hear from Nottingham Hoods over the next few months to see what their plans are, um,
yeah,
and what happens in the future happens. Just to kind of cover our signings because there's been a bit of movement.
yeah,
NBL Fix as well. If you don't follow NBL Fix and you want to kind of keep tabs on what's going on in the NBL, NBL Fix is an absolute lifeline to me. So shout out to whoever's behind that account. If I've met you and I've not realised, message me and tell me I'm an idiot. But NBL Fix and obviously Chris at Rebound, two
yeah,
brilliant accounts. But NBL Fix posts all of the sign-ins, all the stats and everything. He's kind of like a treasure trove really for me. So just to kind of cap off the ones that have the big name moves, I suppose. Ronald Blaine, who was at Bradford Dragons last year, one of the top scorers in the league, was an all-star. There is an interview that I did with him out there somewhere. He has gone to play for Newcastle Knights, which is a Newcastle uni team. So I'm assuming he's obviously enrolled at Newcastle Uni and is doing some form of education. He's American as well. Really want to keep an eye on. Zach Powell, who I also interviewed and has also been on this show and is under a previous name, was at Reading
yeah.
Rockets last year. He's from Birmingham. He's signed for Birmingham City Rockets, as has Luke Okosemi, who we've also had on this show.
There we go.
Sorry, before
Yeah,
has played at Birmingham before. Both played for Birmingham. Both love a dunk. Frightening prospect. Birmingham have also re-signed Orlan Jackman. Their
brilliant guy.
their roster is off the scale this year.
Yeah,
It's frightening.
yeah.
Um, Andre Andre Gale has signed for the Bradford Dragons. He was at Magic last year, and I think he's played at Birmingham potentially as well. I apologize if I got that wrong. Justin
Bradford Dragons.
Robinson has signed for the Thames Valley Cavaliers, but he's got a coaching role there as well.
Nice. Okay.
I think he's part of some of the other setup in the back room. So he's playing and he's doing other bits for the club as well, which is great to see. Um,
Fantastic.
it's great that he's kind of taken this course to kind of move down to do other things. He probably could have stayed in the Super League. Um, Obviously, everyone's seen that Kofi has signed for the Bradford Dragons. He's been put up insane numbers in the KitKing. Malcolm Smith has gone back to Derby as well, which is great to see. And Nate Robinson is at the Milton Keynes Breakers. Mitch Clark, who a lot of people probably won't know unless you follow NBL quite closely, one of the standout players for Reading Rockets. He is back this year as well. And Elliot Bailey signed for Nottingham Hoods, who also probably could have got minutes here and there in the Super League, has
Yeah.
moved to the hoods for whatever reason. So it's all looking really good. D1 men's, D1 women's started to make some signings, so I'll cover those as we go along throughout the next few weeks. NBL has played 2 weekends worth of KitKing. I'm not going to go into the results and everything now because they've been and gone. Um, but we're now into the final eight of the competition. It's a bit of an elongated one. They play it's like a pre-season with the group stage, and then they play it throughout the season, and then
Oh,
they play
okay.
the final at the end. I
Yeah.
think it's kind of similar to like the old BBL trophy.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Yeah.
it's nice because they invite a couple of D2 teams into it as well. Um,
That's
Milton
good.
Keynes were in it last year, I believe. Anyway, this coming Saturday is the final eight. So Saturday at 5 p.m., Milton Keynes Breakers play Bradford Dragons. That's going to be Kofi against Nate, which is going to be unreal. You got Hemel Storm, who have had a bit of a quiet summer, but they've still got a lot of quality on that team. Against Loughborough Riders, you never really know what the Riders are going to do. Um, that game's going to be fascinating. That's at 7 p.m. on Saturday. 7:30, Derby play Team Solent Kestrels. Team Solent Kestrels are D2, but missed out on promotion to D1 last season by like, oh, I think it was on points scored. It was ridiculous. Their team could easily play at D1 level, has been shown. They beat
Yeah.
Worthing this weekend away. I think it was 115 to 97 as well. They've also got my beloved Plymouth Raiders in the National Cup. We're going to go there. The Green Machine are going to go there and pull off the biggest upset in NBL.
And there we go. Yeah.
Team Solent are a lovely club as well. If you're on the South Coast and you want to go watch a game and they're home, men or women, fantastic club. They held the All-Star game. Lovely, lovely arena, lovely club.
Yeah.
Can't speak highly of them. Derby Trailblazers, Matt Shaw has obviously now left, so it's kind of a bit walking into the unknown for them. Still going great guns. And then Reading Rockets face Thames Valley Cavaliers on Sunday at 4 p.m. At the minute, it doesn't look like there's anything's been posted on whether any of these games are on YouTube. Reading used to broadcast their games last season, so I assume that that might be the case again. Milton Keynes, I know, had wanted to do the same. Um,
Mhm.
if any of these are on YouTube, we'll put on the socials as well. People can catch those. That's the only games in NBL. Some of the lower divisions in NBL, they have started their season, but I'm not going to go through all of those. This year, also in NBL, we have a conference league, which is kind of
Mhm.
the league below D3. So they took
Okay.
some teams from D3 and then they've made these conference leagues. So
Right.
locally for myself, we've got Exeter Spartans, Gloucester are in it, Oxford, I think maybe are in it. So there's now even more leagues. So teams that were playing like regional feeder leagues are
Mhm.
now playing National League basketball. I think that's on the men's and women's side as well. So there's so much basketball going on out there in the NBL. If you've been put off by what's happened in the Super League, as some people have, NBL was a great alternative. There's clubs literally everywhere. There's in the national, the conference leagues. There's a Cornwall team who played D3 last year, and there's teams all the way throughout the country, whatever level. So if you just want to go watch some hoops with your kids, or you just want to go a lazy Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon, go on
Yeah.
the NBA website. There's a club near you. It's a couple quid to get in. D1, I think, is like a tenner.
It's not much at all, is it?
No,
And it's a
right.
fun day out regardless, you know.
Yeah,
You haven't got to be a fan.
I was paying £7 last year to go watch Raiders. Obviously, eat, sleep, and breathe Raiders. I would have paid whatever. And
Yeah.
some of these clubs have also got season tickets on sale as well. I know locally, Raiders, Patriots, Gloucester Kings had season tickets last year. Don't know if Exeter do. I'm sure there's people up Ben's way as well that are the same. So
Yeah. Yeah.
there is life outside of the top flight.
Yes,
Go
absolutely.
watch it. And we're also going to, me and Eli, going to take a trip up to Bristol for the Bristol Hurricanes games as well because we want to show them some love. I think that's everything NBL wise. WNBL, as I've said, we shall cover that as we go along. Ben, what's going on in the world of wheelchair basketball?
Well,
Good.
it's going
Right.
to be an
Okay. Anyway, moving
exciting.
on.
That's enough for me. No. First of all, let's rewind a little bit because it's been an exciting summer for wheelchair basketball. and I am referring to the Paralympics. We've not actually been together on a show, for me to bring it up. Um, so go on.
On a previous show, I made a bet that if GB medaled in both men's and women's, I would go to an extra Otters game dressed as an otter or an outfit provided by friend of the show, Jack.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and I was celebrating them mainly because I'm going to dress up as an otter, but they didn't
No,
do
you,
it.
no, you're safe. You're safe. Yeah. Um,
I'm genuinely I'm gutted. I wanted to go dressed as an otter because that would have meant we would have medaled both men and women, which would have been a great achievement. So
I would have loved to have seen you dressed as an otter, and I'm sure Jack would have loved to see you at the Otters game as well. But
I'm assuming at some point I'll say something and go do it. So yeah. But
oh
anyway,
yeah,
sorry, I interrupted.
yeah. It was a great summer. I loved what went on. Really great campaign for GB basketball. The men who were probably heading into the tournament as one of the favourites to medal, um, went all the way to the final against the USA. Um, had a fantastic run, and they just by 4 points finished second. So well done to GB men for bringing home the silver. I know for many of the guys, it was a great chance to get back out there. Terry Bywater went to his seventh games. Um, Massive shout out to Terry. He showed all sorts of love, um, all over socials to the Mostly Ballin pod as well. And he's just a great guy in general. So shout out to
Legend.
Terry. Shout out to all the guys. Phil Pratt, the Welshman who captained the side, brilliant guy. And carry on. Yeah.
This is Team GB. We don't talk about England, Ireland, Scotland, or Wales. So none of that
Okay,
Welsh thing going on there. Sorry.
he's Welsh, so I'll give him the shout out. But yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. And to the women as well, who went into the tournament with a fairly young squad, a lot of debutants. Um, they did really well to do what they did. Unfortunately, medals weren't to be this time round. They finished fifth in the fifth and sixth playoffs. But across the two teams, a lot of promising talent, a lot of exciting things to look forward to come LA in 4 years, um, for men and women. But it was a really brilliant tournament, really good opportunity to see what British basketball can produce. So well done to both teams. I've been waiting to get on a pod and say well done because it was just such an amazing tournament. For someone who loves wheelchair basketball, and the amount of fans who have said that they watched it because it was so entertaining, and it was so good. But that being said, international basketball is over. We turn to club basketball, and the new season for the British wheelchair basketball is underway. Um, I'll go into a little bit more detail again. I'll probably do something online or another video, but there are some fixtures that have taken place, and I've got the results. Also, shout out to Reading Rockets, who we do love as a franchise on the show. They made the move um, up this season, so they have a team in the Premier Division. Um, so massive shout out, big thumbs up.
Let's go Rockets.
Absolutely. They kicked off their campaign against Manchester Revolution, and Manchester came out victorious in that one, 81-67. So that was for the Rockets. Now, the Mohawks and Whirlwind played a total of three times this sort of past few days, but in separate divisions. So in Division 1, it was the Mohawks coming out 67-44, victorious. So well done, Mohawks, in that one. They come out victorious in Division 2, winning 50 points to 40. And they come out victorious in Division 3, winning 56-20. Whirlwinds and Mohawks in all three of those. So well done to the Mohawks, who, yeah,
Was that a sweep?
a clean sweep, 3 out of 3 against the Whirlwind. Um, So well done to them. Um, the Coventry wheelchair basketball also played the Cardiff Met Archers. So that Cardiff is going to be one of my teams. And they Coventry won 57-46. So well done to that game, to Coventry. Um, that is everything that I've got up. I don't have the upcoming fixtures yet because I haven't had a chance to look through properly. But as I said, I'll do something separate and may even get Jack back on the pod to really give us a rundown as to how things go. I've been trying to grab him for ages and he's been busy. But yeah,
We
you
know
don't
what,
have
man.
to join us, Nick. It's okay.
Oh, that's fine. As long as I am going to come on, that's fine. Yeah, you and Jack do what you want. Jack, I'm going to
Um,
come down for a game this year. I keep saying that.
oh,
The
Jack's invited me down to train as well, so maybe I'll see you there.
No, you're not. Surrey 89ers are also in that league as well this
They
year.
are.
So it keeps getting more and more awkward for me. They got rid of Reading Rockets because they were promoted, and now they've got Surrey in that league. But obviously, I'm all about the Otters.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my local team, and they got the word
It's good
extra
to
in there.
see. It's good to see top flight teams like Surrey now having,
Yeah,
Manchester as well. I've got teams
yeah.
in wheelchair basketball, so it's good to see. Phoenix used to have a development team linked to them. There is still Phoenix as a club. I train with them, um, and we're looking to compete uh in the new year. So I'll get back on the floor at some point, which is exciting. Yeah, so it's nice to see top flight teams having top teams in wheelchair basketball. It's exciting. I'm looking forward to this season.
There are also two other things that we're going to do our weekly on this pod that are going to be incredibly niche, no pun intended. We're going to track what's going on in Bulgaria. Was that the league that we're tracking one team in Bulgaria?
Yeah, anything to do with the Quincy?
Yeah, we're going to track wherever Q's gone. We're going
Yeah.
to track whatever team it is that Vince is managing, coaching in Germany. And we're
Yes.
also going to track what the Alabama Crimson Tide are doing in the wheelchair basketball in America.
There we go. Yeah.
And anyone else in America that's got a British player in their team.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of work for Ben to do. I'm just going to sit back and do nothing.
I'm looking forward to it.
Cool.
There'll be
So I
plenty.
think that's everything. I've been typing away trying to find the women's website for basketball, and I think I'm just being dim. I can't find it.
We'll find it.
We'll find it. It's out there somewhere on Tinternet. We'll find it, and we shall
Yeah,
bring you news of everything that's happening in that world.
absolutely.
There's loads of stuff coming up on our socials as well. We're going to do some funny bits. Um, Probably going to start doing a weekly video of how far an arena is to the like the closest McDonald's or Burger King, KFC or Greg's or something. Um, People can decide which takeaway establishment we have this season. And it will be
Yeah, we're
all
gonna
arenas. It won't just be Super League. We shall find arenas that are, lower down the divisions,
absolutely.
wheelchair. Um, we may even do some European ones, how far they are away from the closest fast food establishment in this country, if we're really starting to scrape the barrel. Um,
Why not? Hey, that's what we do. That's what we do, and we do it well. I gotta say.
we do well. If
Some
anybody
players,
thought that
others
this
do.
podcast was going to get any more serious this year, you are in for an absolute
Treat.
wrongness because we're let loose now. The patients have taken over the asylum. Um, I
Yeah.
think that's everything I have to say. Is there anything else, Ben, we got to cover? I think we've covered everything.
I feel like everything that's recent we've covered.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
there's more to come in due time, I'm sure. It's been good.
Yeah, has been tolerable. Anyway, right. So let's see if I can remember how to do this. Shout out to the Plymouth Raiders. Let's go Raiders. Love you guys. Come on. Come on. I'm gonna do it this year. I went to the game the other day behind closed doors. Um,
Nice.
Sat courtside doing some content and filming. Nearly died. And also put on my Twitter, so I think a few people saw that nothing says preseason basketball like a ball stuck behind the hoop on one of them like
I saw
down. As soon as I walked in and I saw it, and I was like, basketball's back, baby. Um,
Yeah.
oh, shout out as well to the Exeter Spartans. They've got black jerseys with gold writing on them, and they are amazing. If anybody from the
Oh,
Spartans is listening to this, please do get in touch because I really want one. I want to buy one of those jerseys.
jerseys have to be one of my favorite parts. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't even wear them. I wear them in the summer. I don't even wear them to the games.
Yeah.
Anyway, shout out to the Plymouth Raiders. Shout out to the Knicks. Shout out to everybody in NBL D1. Shout out to Jack, I suppose. Shout out Memesy. Shout out friends of all the show. Shout out to where's it gone? The DePaul Blue Demons.
Me.
This basketball season is going to be unreal for me. Knicks are good. DePaul are back. Raiders are doing things. Gladiators are going to win you a trophy. It's going to be great. Anyway, we should see you all soon. Take care. Have a good one. Bye bye.